and more on the survivors saved in this storm. But we begin with Jonathan Hall and the latest on the recovery efforts in Moore, Oklahoma.
Hey guys, it's been more than 24 hours now, so hopes for miracles do begin to fade. But the governor of Oklahoma says there could be survivors trapped in the rubble. She can't be sure, though, and neither can the rescuers.
Oh my God.
This is not good. Please, dear God, please keep these people safe.
More than 24 hours after the tornado hit, this video of the deadly storm still tough to watch. Look around today. Whole neighborhoods are gone. But the terrifying memories of that dark funnel cloud remain.
I grabbed my boys and we got in the car and went that way and just zoomed.
Those who tried to help their neighbors find the traumatic scene difficult to shake.
It was just carnage. You know, but it had to be done. People needed to be helped. We saw some unfortunate things.
President Obama says he declared several counties in Oklahoma federal disaster areas in an effort to speed up the relief efforts. And he spoke about the devastating path of destruction, a swath of pain and torment 17 miles long.
There are empty spaces where there used to be living rooms and bedrooms and classrooms. And in time, we're going to need to refill those spaces with love and laughter and community.
We will get through this, we will overcome, and we will rebuild, and we will regain our strength.
The twister claimed at least 24 lives, including some school children at Plaza Towers Elementary. Rescue efforts persist there, but no survivors have been found today.
I would like to extend my sincere sympathies to all those who have suffered losses over the past couple of days in Oklahoma.
The fire chief in Moore says his crews worked through the night. The school is being picked over again and again and again, and dogs trained to find human scent are on site.
At this time, the dogs are not making any hits for persons. They will not declare that structure clear until they are down to the ground and have been through every piece of rubble in that building.
After a more thorough inspection of the damage, the National Weather Service now says winds were 210 miles an hour at one point. Live in the newsroom, I'm Jonathan Hall, 7 News. Air Force One is now pointing right at us, the nose coming right toward the camera here. This is just a majestic sight. I've been covering presidents coming in various places since Kennebunkport with President George Bush in the late 1980s, and I tell you, you never, ever tire of seeing this sight. It's just an amazing picture with a Marine standing at attention here right in front of us. As the jets approach, it's going to get very loud, so hopefully you can continue to hear me. And we've been warned when this huge plane turns, we may have some jet wash, which would possibly blow us off the top of this flatbed truck we're standing on. Well, imagine the panic on the streets of London, right near an army barracks, right near a school. 2 men in a car run over an unsuspecting British soldier who was simply trying to walk down a sidewalk. The men murdered that soldier using knives and a meat cleaver.
We swear by the Almighty Allah, we will never stop fighting you until you leave us alone.
The men didn't run away. In fact, they waited 20 minutes for the police to arrive, and then they asked horrified people nearby to record them with cell phones. Police finally arrived and did shoot the men, but not before a mother of 2 confronted them, telling them they were outnumbered and they would lose.
I asked him if he did it. He said yes, and I said why? He said he's a British soldier, and I said really? And I said yes, and I tell him because he killed Muslims over there, and I'm fed up that people kill Muslims in Iraq, in Afghanistan.
The woman, a Cub Scout leader, she says the men insisted they killed the soldier because soldiers kill Muslims. They decapitated the man during the gruesome attack. Now, British intelligence is investigating, and the Prime Minister has been briefed. He is expected to make a statement very soon on this vicious strike. Live in the newsroom, I'm Jonathan Hall. 7 News Today in New England. We are still waiting for word on exactly what's going to happen at this site. We have a state police helicopter hovering overhead, and earlier when we were around the corner, we saw the police doing, yeah, we'll try to get that shot, Dusty. Go ahead. See if we can get a little shot of the, we're trying to show you things that will not impact the investigation here. There must be 100 police officers on that street, heavily armed. I mean, if this gentleman, don't call him a gentleman, if this person is in that building, and now I see more heading that way. If this person's in that building, he is surrounded and he is in deep trouble. He's not going to be getting out of there. The question now is, do they have the right people in there, and how many suspects are there? Is there just one more, the brother, or is there a third suspect as well? We're dealing with conflicting information, fluid situation now, and everybody here in Watertown is on edge. People are kind of holed up in these homes. No one's come out. All we've seen out here are media and police, and that's about it here in Watertown. Guys, back to you.
John, you had mentioned earlier, did you overhear someone yelling, are you in there, or come out if you're in there, give up, something to that effect?
There was a bullhorn, and when the police first ran down the street, and this was a scurry. I mean, all of a sudden you saw people just running full out. We all ran too. The cameras ran, and it was basically the Wild Wild West for a while. And the reporters had pretty much carte blanche to be with these officers as they ran toward the situation. Very quickly, a few MPs showed up to hold us back, but then you heard the bullhorn, and it sounded something like, if you're in there, come out. If you're in there, come out. Before the mad dash to find the young bomber, before surreal scenes on Watertown streets which look like something you'd see in the movie The Town.
Guys, back up. Back up, guys. Sir.
Before all of it, including folks evacuated in bathrobes, there were dark scenes on eerily quiet streets, with families hunkered down, wondering what would happen to them.
I'm concerned for other people. I'm not worried myself. If he comes here, he'll be captured. Probably not alive.
Kenny Doyle was visiting extended family. There were little kids up all night in his house. He didn't want them on camera. As bomb crews worked outside looking for explosives, he described the firefight with police shortly after midnight.
There was a bunch of gunfire.
Then later another 50 rounds and more explosion.
The reports ended up saying they were grenades, and that's what they sounded like.
And now so many people in this neighborhood concerned it could be another long night, but hopefully a quieter one. In Watertown, Jonathan Hall, 7 News.
Big question this morning. Let's get right to 7's Jonathan Hall with the latest developments. John?
Hey guys, police say a trucker carrying an oversized load hit the bridge before the collapse. He's being questioned. So far, no charges. The bridge collapsed into a river some 50 miles north of Seattle. Bridge built in the 50s carries traffic on I-5 up to Canada. A man driving with his wife in a pickup reported as he tried to cross the bridge, he saw it disappear in a big puff of dust, and into the water they went. Just imagine it. They went in the water along with a camper they were towing. Another car went into the river as well. First responders had to rescue 3 people from the river. None of the injuries serious. It appears nobody is missing this morning. The river is about 15 feet deep and it's cold. At least 2 of the 3 motorists suffered hypothermia as they waited for rescue on top of their vehicles. Now that survivor who said, poof, the bridge went down, he says he thought he was a goner for sure.
When I felt the water rushing in, and I kind of came back to situational awareness, looking around, when you looked at all the carnage of the metal and stuff around you, I assumed that was it at that point. There was no hope. That's what I was thinking.
This calls into question the safety of other bridges in Washington state. Highway officials admit more money needs to be spent on maintenance. Engineers will now assess whether the whole bridge needs to be replaced or simply the one span which collapsed. And they may have to build a temporary bridge now. Big traffic troubles north of Seattle. Live in the newsroom, I'm Jonathan Hall, 7 News today in New England.